My name is Jackson, aka the Big Unit. Some of you know me as the guitar repair guy. Some of you know me as the lead singer, guitarist, and songwriter for the heavy metal band Shatterbone. Some of you know me as an electrical educator. Some of you know me as the guy with the crazy guitar collection. Some of you know me as a die-hard Raiders fan. For years I have worked on, collected, played, and spent all my free time around guitars. But now I am going to do something I have never attempted before. I'm gonna build a guitar. Alright, so we're back in the other shop. I have two assistants here that decided they need to come in here and explore and check things out. So this is Casper. Say hi, Casper. And this is Otto. Our two golden boys. Can you sit down? Otto. Otto, sit down. Sit. High fives. Alright. Casper. You sit. High fives. Alright. Good boy. Okay. Anyway. At this point, I think we are now ready to start with dressing the fret ends. So I got my my crimson fret end file. You know, this is kind of nice too. I mean, not to throw shade at certain other guitar suppliers that you're probably fully aware of. I think we all are. You know, most of us have probably bought something from one of the American luthier supply company. But the crimson one, the crimson fret end beveling file, looks like this. It's got a nice wooden handle on it. It's nice and sturdy. This is the one that you get from the other guys. It's got like a little plastic dip handle, and that's it. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It works. But you gotta do something to be able to hang it up or put it in a tool rack without it falling through. So, I don't know. I think this one's nicer. That handle, it's still small if you got big old paws, but at least it gives you a little bit more holding area. So anyway, we are now going to proceed with fret ends. Alright, now next I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some 220 grit, so pretty fine stuff, but still fairly abrasive. And I'm going to just quick run it over the frets here, and I'm going to do that because the fact that it's going to help to knock down some of the scratches and stuff like that I caused with the beveling file. And I mean, there's a couple things you can do with that. You know, you can wrap it around your finger. You don't want to really use anything super hard. Okay, I mean, we want it to glide over the frets, not remove the frets. We're really just trying to give it a nice polish. Okay, so you wrap it around like that, and then you just and it is going to beach paper up, so you got to move around a little bit. But this is just another step in the process. Well, it really wants to rip it out, I think.
Why do you have to do that again?
It just helps to crown the tops a little bit. Next, I'm gonna use my fret rubbers here a little bit. So I'm gonna start out with coarse and just go over them all quick. Make sure I don't have any gnarly scratches or anything like that in them that are gonna mess with how smooth it'll play once I get to that point. I think I have one that's a little more coarse than that even. And I think I want that. I got one fret here that it looks like I got a drag mark in when I slipped with my beveling file. So either the white or the red, and I think maybe the white is a better option because the red is for soft metals. Nickel is softer than some metals, but it's not aluminum, which is kind of what they were alluding to there. So I think I'm going to use the white. Alright, so then, yeah, that guy. And is it charged?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh, alright. Already started thinking on my next build. Is that bad? I mean, I'm not even done with this one yet. I'm already having issues with this one, and I'm already considering what I'm going to do next. I guess that means that I didn't waste a whole bunch of money on tools and stuff just to attempt this once and get disgusted with it and give up, though, so that's a good sign. There'll probably be more of this for the tens and tens of you that like to watch me build guitars, so that'll be nice. I am eventually going to run out of Shatterbone material, and we only did 3 albums, so I am not 100% sure what I'm going to do after that. If I'm just going to keep reusing Shatterbone music, or if I'm going to say to heck with that and start going to the free tunes sites that everybody else uses. I don't know, what do you guys think? I'm not going to put a poll up because it's not live, but you know, just go ahead and leave a comment if you want to. Let me know what you think. Keep using Shatterbone music, or move on to something generic and probably somewhat less aggressive. I don't know. I don't know what those free share sites have, but my assumption is it's probably not all that heavy for most of it. Purple. And I got Ox Blood Red. I don't know if I'll do another video showing those here in the future or not. Maybe I will. If you want to see the Ox Blood in action, go check out the Boba Fett guitar build that Ben did. Because that guitar had the ox blood on the back of it. It is sharp. I like it a lot.
Here.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you. You know, when I was a kid and I bought cassette tapes all the time, eventually you would end up in a situation where you would buy cassette tapes, and somehow through the years you would end up with more cases than cassettes.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens. I get the same thing with this size Allen wrench. It's the, you know, typical Allen wrench size for truss rods, and the typical Allen wrench size for Floyd Rose tremolos too. Not this one, but there is another one that's, you know, typically for Floyd Rose tremolos. I'll bet I have a collection of 30 or 40 of each of those two Allen wrench sizes. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, I'm sure somebody who doesn't collect guitars, or, you know, doesn't have an obscene addiction to collecting guitars or anything like that, probably doesn't have that problem, but I have them everywhere. Those same couple of sizes.
Well, you could throw it away, I guess, if you don't need it.
No, I'll hang on to it. That's my other issue. I don't throw stuff away like I should. And while we're on the topic of cases, storing guitars, collecting guitars, that's cool and all. It's finding a place to store all the cases that gets to be a challenge. They're just kind of occupying the southwest fourth of my guitar workroom here.
Well, I told you you needed to have a hard case for all your guitars. So.
Yes, I know. We were pretty actively out on the road playing for a number of years, and when your stuff is bouncing around in the back of a truck and stuff like that, it's kind of necessary to make sure you're protecting it. So.
Wow, look at that.
Smells pretty. Very lemony.
I like lemons.
Ben says you could drink it. I don't think I'm gonna try, but it's all natural. It's not like some of the other stuff you see out there, like, floor polish and things like that. I used Murphy's oil soap for years, and I mean, it works to clean up fretboards and to, get the guck off of them after somebody's been playing it hard and regular for months on end without ever cleaning their fretboard. But it doesn't have the best stuff in it. It ain't Snapple, right? It ain't made from the best stuff on earth. So I don't know if I really like sticking it on guitar fretboards as much anymore. I mean, it works, but this has got less petrochemical to it. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Pretty.
Super shiny. Nice and comfy. Yeah, I think I'm still going to do more to the back of that neck, though. I don't know if I'm going to do it on camera, but I'm going to do more to the back of that neck. Just a little more. Not excessively or anything, but just a little bit more. Okay, so now, you're kind of like by my face. If you take your neck and you hold it up and you have like a straight background, top of a door or something like that, you kind of line it up with that and then roll it over and run back and forth with your eyes and look and see if you see any hills or valleys or whatever, places that you need to match it up a little bit. So everything looks good up to about my heel here, so that's where I need to start. that looks pretty good. And I think that feels pretty good. So I think that's a little closer to what I'm going to go for now. So it's about as close to a deep C as I'm going to get with the neck that I got here. But I think it's pretty comfortable. So, I mean, once I get it sanded and things, of course, you know, it's not super comfortable at the moment, but it will be. Okay, so I got that done too. So now, the exception to sanding, I think the neck's done.
A few hours later.
Alright, so top is glued up. Next I have a top bearing router bit here, and I'm going to run it around there, trim the edge up flush. Being that it's quilt maple, I'm thinking I'm probably going to get a little bit of tear out here, but I am also going to have to sand it after that yet, so I think I'll be alright. Worst case scenario is I have to bevel the edge a little bit, which I don't really want to do, but well, this is turning into a series of things I didn't really want to do. So anyway, yeah, on with this. Hope for the best. Not too bad. I think maybe I want to trim that just a little bit more. Well, that worked out a lot cleaner than I thought it was going to. Got a little bit of tear out, but nothing that the sander won't fix. All right. Okay, so I drew this trace of the body before I glued the top on, just because I had already routed the pickup cavities, already laid out the bridge, already laid out the 25.5-inch mark for where the saddles are going to have to line up, already drilled the holes for the bridge, already drilled the hole for the ground wire. So I wanted to know where the holes are underneath so I could get an idea when it got to this point where to drill my holes through the top so I can then lay it down on top of the router here and route out the pickup cavities quick again. I don't know. I think maybe maybe laying it on here is not the safest bet. Maybe putting it inside of my handheld router and routing them out is smarter. But before we get to that point, we're gonna have to drill the holes. And I guess I could use the drill press again, but that's not entirely necessary since it's not like a really nice straight hole that I've got to make sure that all right. Okay. Now I shouldn't have to go very deep, so I shouldn't have to worry about the same screw up I had last time I drug this beast out. Which I'm sure you're all aware doesn't make me any less nervous at this point because I've already screwed it up once. So are you on? All right, here we go. It's cheesy. Apparently I had some glue settle into the pickup cavity here, and it had a skin had dried over top of it, but it's still just glue underneath it, so it's like someone left the cheese out on the counter. Yeah.
Ew.
I mean, at least it doesn't smell like that, but it doesn't look any less disgusting. Yep, I'm thinking I may have to come back and try and clean that up a little bit more once it dries out, because right now I'm just trying to wipe up half-dried snot here, and it's not working all that well. Well, at this point I have fixed my control cavity issue. I am going to have to cut a small piece of the top out of scrap that I had left over for putting a shim in the neck pocket, so my neck is still sitting up at the correct height. Otherwise it'd be recessed into the pocket at this point. We don't want that, so and I'll do that on the bandsaw. But otherwise, besides that, I think we have resolved the problem with the router disaster.
Okay.
Alright, so next is more sanding. I don't know how much of this I'm actually going to put on the video, simply because of the fact that you've seen me sand enough by now. But anyway, here we go. So we're gonna hit it with 80 first, just to take the glue and stuff like that off. Then we'll go up to 120, then we'll go up to 240, and at that point then I'll probably start attacking stain. So here we go. Alright, so my spindle sander was leaving a couple of little black streaks and stuff from the top, the tabletop. So I'm just going to quick sand that off quick again with the 220. Okay, so I think then that is pretty much ready, except for cleaning out the pickup cavities, but I gotta let that glue dry up a little bit better because right now it's all snotty and cheesy and nasty. So I'll let that set up another couple days and then I'll scrape the rest of that. And then the neck. Can you hand me one of the medium blue clamps? Fix that. Only thing, well, not the only thing. There's a few things that suck about this workbench, but one of the things that sucks about this workbench is the fact that the edges are just sheet steel, so there's really no good place to get a clamp on this thing. That's the next project. No matter what I keep telling myself about my next guitar build, the next project is going to have to be a new workbench. nice and smooth.
Are you gonna ever sand that thing down so we don't get splinters?
Probably should. There. Okay, so I got my shim in there. It's perfect. So there is just a tiny itty bitty little gap in there, but I think, I'm not sure if it doesn't go the entire length of the pocket here. You can see it looks like there's a little gap in there, but it doesn't wiggle, so I think it's maybe just a little bit of an angled cut there, or angled sand, if you will. But anyway,
This way, because I didn't even see that little. Yeah, there you go.
there's a little tiny gap there, but I think it's just because this is sanded at just a tiny bit of an angle, but it's literally a 32nd of an inch maybe, so I don't even think it's worth worrying about. And theoretically, since that is the same thickness as at the top, Eureka! Beautiful! It's right where it needs to. All right. Makes me happy. Now, I did kind of want to roll the heel over a little bit, round the heel. I think I might do that in a minute while I'm sitting here piddling with the sanding. Yeah. I mean, there's still a fairly good sized gob there, but I think that's a lot more comfortable than that hard edge right there for, you bet. Okay. Well, we are all sanded up, and, oh, maybe not. Maybe I gotta hit that a little bit more. That's better. Okay. So I think we are ready for finish. But it's supper time here in the great white world of Unitsville. So I think what we're going to do at this point is call this at this point, and then yeah, I will get to clean up the glue boogers and stuff like that once they get all dry, and then we will proceed with finishing in the next one. So thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks for coming. Take care of yourselves.